Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, Bachelor in Social Work, BSW. Elective courses, BSWE 002 VOLUME 1 Social Work Intervention with Individual and Groups. Unit 9 Principles, Skills and Models of Group Work Practice. Introduction. Social group work is a method of social work which develops the ability of establishing constructive relationship in individuals through group activities. Group experiences are the essential needs of human being. The reciprocal and dynamic interactions and transactions between persons and environment are inherent in social group work practice. Sometimes due to her own fault or weakness, and sometimes due to unfavorable environment, one fails to perform her activities of the group life. Here group work helps the individual in removing weakness and strengthening internal power to perform her job satisfactorily. The social group worker must have the theoretical knowledge of social group work, its principles, its skills, its models, its assumptions, so that she may be able to perform her jobs most satisfactorily. All these concepts have been discussed in this chapter. Principles of social group work. The group worker benefit the conscious understanding of the basic principles of social group work because this knowledge provides him, her a framework to work with the group. Sometimes the word, concept, and principles are used interchangeably, but there is difference between the two. The concepts are ideas regarding individuals, groups and communities emerged from social and biological sciences as well as from the humanities disciplines. Such concepts are, for example, social distance, problem, role, ego, etc. They are basic to all social work methods. A principle is a verbalized statement, general rules or laws, fundamental truths by which we proceed from one situation to another. A principle must be understood to mean a hypothesis so adequately tested by observation and experiment that it may be put forward as a guide to action. Social group work principles are guiding assertions of statements that have come from experience and research. Basic principles of working with people in groups to help them grow and change have emerged from the practice of social group work. The objectives of social group work can be fulfilled only within the framework of principles. Therefore, it seems necessary to deal with basic principles, which are guiding force for group work practice. Douglas has described 14 principles of social group work. 1. Recognition and subsequent action in relation to the unique difference of each individual. 2. Recognition and subsequent action in relation to the wide variety of groups as groups. 3. Genuine acceptance of each individual with his unique strengths and weaknesses. 4. Establishment of a purposeful relationship between group worker and group members. 5. Encouragement and enabling of help and cooperative relationship between members. 6. Appropriate modification of the group process. 7. Encouragement of each member to participate according to the stage of his capacity and enabling him to become more capable. 8. Enabling members to involve themselves in the process of problem solving. 9. Enabling group members to experience increasingly satisfactory forms of working through conflicts. 10. Provision of opportunities for new and differing experience in relationships and accomplishments. 11. Judicious use of limitations related to the diagnostic assessment of each individual and total situation. 12. Purposeful and differential use of program according to diagnostic evaluation of individual members' group purpose and appropriate social goals. 13. Ongoing evaluation of individual and group progress. 14. Humane and disciplined use of self on the part of the group worker. Konopka has described certain principles to work with the groups. Summary of these principles has been narrated here. 1. The social worker's goal is to enable clients or group members as a whole to move toward greater independence and capacity for help. 2. The social worker must use the scientific method to prepare for action, fact-finding, analysis and diagnosis in relation to the individual, group and the social environment. 3. The social worker must form purposeful relationship. It means a conscious focusing on the needs of the group members and attempts to fulfill them. 4. The social worker must use himself consciously. This includes self-knowledge and discipline in relationship but without the loss of warmth and spontaneity. 5. The social worker must accept members as they are, without condemning their behavior. This involves deep understanding of group members as well as knowledge and identification of values regulating human beings. 6. The social worker must understand the origins of his own value system and be able to handle it in relation to the value system of others. 7. He must allow members to develop their own behavior without much interference and to choose their own point of departure without imposing outside demands. But the worker has responsibility for stimulating change. Cohen has also discussed certain principles which may be significant in working with the groups. According to him, 1. The group members must be encouraged to help themselves by the social worker playing as indirect or enabling role rather than a manipulative one. It means the group members be given the right of self-direction and self-determination. 2. The work with the group should be started at the level of group members. It means that proper knowledge of educational, economic, social and other characteristics are essential while working with the group. If the work or programs are above the mental level of members, they will lose their interest. 3. Social worker must focus not merely on the immediate problem as seen by the group but on relation to the total situation. 4. Social worker must keep in mind that individual differences exist while dealing with the group members. 5. It should be kept in mind that the welfare of individual is inextricably interwoven with the welfare of the group. Therefore, social worker must be concerned with the development of material, human and social resources to meet all the needs of all the members of the group. Friedlander has mentioned the following basic principles of social group work. 1. The function of the social group worker is a helping or enabling one. This means that his goal is to help the members of the group and the group as a whole to move toward greater independence and capacity for self-help. 2. In determining her way of life, the group worker uses the scientific method, fact-finding, analysis and diagnosis in relation to the individual, the group of the social environment. 3. The group work method requires the worker to form purposeful relationship to group members and the group. 4. One of the main tools in achieving such relationship is the conscious use of self. 5. A basic respect and love for people without considering his weakness. 6. The work should be started from where the group is. 7. There should be constructive use of limitations. The group worker will mainly use himself, program materials, interaction of the group and awakening of insight in the group members. 8. Every member of the group should be understood separately. It means individualization is essential. 9. Interaction is a process through which group members develop their strengths and power. Therefore, social group worker should properly monitor this process. 10. It is also necessary that non-verbal activities and programs should be understood and used along with the verbal material. Trecker has explained the following principles of social group work. 1. The principle of planned group formation. 2. The principle of specific objectives. 3. The principle of purposeful worker-group relationship. 4. The principle of continuous individualization. 5. The principle of guided group interaction. 6. The principle of democratic group self-determination. 7. The principle of flexible functional organization. 8. The principle of progressive program experience. 9. The principle of resource utilization. 10. The principle of evaluation. On the basis of different principles discussed by different social work authors, we may summarize as follows. 1. Principle of planned organization of the group. 2. Principle of understanding each individual as a member of a group and as an individual. 3. Principle of equality. 4. Principle of understanding relationship as tool for solving group problems as well as individual problems and also for development of the group. 5. Principle of encouragement of each member of the group. 6. Principle of recognition of variety of groups with different objectives. 7. Principle of self-development, i.e. full opportunity to the group to organize its programs according to its needs. 8. Principle of self-problem solving. Members should be involved in understating and solving problems themselves. 9. Principle of use of program according to diagnosis of the group. Different types of programs are needed according to the problems of the group. 10. Principle of experience development. Each member of the group should get opportunity to act and express his feelings in the group. 11. Principle of understanding the importance of group life in shaping and molding one's character and personality. The group worker should believe the importance of group experience. 12. Principle of understanding the group process and its different elements. For example, group structure, role and status, division of responsibility, etc. 13. Principle of understanding familiarity with the process of cooperation, conflict, accommodation, resistance and ambivalence in the group. This knowledge is essential to handle the different group situation. 14. Principle of modification in group process. The group worker always keeps in mind the result of group activities. If it is not as it is required, he suggests the group members to modify their activities and programs. 15. Principle of providing new opportunities. It is the job of group worker to make aware the group about the opportunities of work in different fields and also the ways and means to avail these opportunities. 16. Principle of use of constructive limitations. Nobody is perfect. This is also applicable to the group members. Whatever the capacity and ability they have should be used properly by the group, and whatever the limitations, they should fully understand and attempts should be made to work within these limitations. 17. Principle of conscious use of himself, herself. The role of group worker is to guide the interaction process of the group. She should interfere in the group activities only when group members should demand for his, her help. Members of the group should not feel that the worker is unnecessary interferes in their affairs. 18. Principle of use of scientific action plan. It means that the social group worker first find out the problem of the group or collect data, and on the basis of collected facts, the diagnosis is done. After that, action plan should be prepared for the solution of the problem and for the development of the group. 19. Principle of acceptance. It means that the group worker should accept the members as they are without condemning any weakness. At group level, it must accept the services of the group worker. 20. Principle of understanding values. Values are the guiding force for behavior expression. They must be kept in mind while dealing with the group problems. 21. Principle of determination of specific objectives. Objectives should be clear for the group as well as to the group worker. 22. Principle of resource utilization. The group may have different kind of needs, and these needs cannot be fulfilled by one agency, and therefore the worker should tap the resources of the community. 23. Principle of evaluation, continuous examination and evaluation of group activities. Program planning in social group work. Program planning in social group work, tracker in the group work. If a program has to be of maximum value, 1. It must be person-centered. 2. It must meet specific needs. 3. It should develop out of the interest and needs of the group members. 4. It should involve the members themselves in planning to the maximum amount of their ability. 5. It should utilize the worker as a helping person. The worker is not there to give a program, but to help the members to develop their own program. The term program is a concept which, when broadly conceived, includes the entire range of activities, relationships, interactions and experiences of individual members and the group, which have been deliberately planned and carried out with the help of the worker to meet the needs of the individuals and the group. The worker helps the group to select the areas of content and the media of expression. The group worker who consciously relates the what, the content of program, and the how, the means of program, with the why, aims and objectives of program. The program development process aims at the blossoming of the group's own potentialities. The social worker's primary job in program development is to guide the process of interaction among the group members. Social group work utilizes the interaction of members around program in an agency setting with worker guidance. Interaction refers to participating behavior of a reciprocal kind. Interaction itself is not an end but rather a means to the goal of the group. Principles of program planning. 1. Program should grow out of the needs and interests of the individuals who compose the group. 2. Program should take into account the factors such as age of the members, cultural background and economic condition. 3. Program should provide individuals with experience and opportunities, which they voluntarily choose to pursue because of their interest and values. 4. Program should be flexible and varied to satisfy a variety of needs and interests and to afford a maximum number of opportunities for participation. 5. Program should evolve from the simple to the more complex, with movement coming as a result of group growth in ability and readiness. Movement from initially personal to social or community concerns should be an ultimate objective if our program is to have greater social significance. Skills of social group work. In a general sense, skill means the capacity to perform activities. The Webster Dictionary defines it as knowledge of and expertness in execution and performance. Virginia Robinson refers to skill as the capacity to set in motion and control a process of change in specific material in such a way that the change that takes place in the material is effected with the greatest degree of consideration for and utilization of the quality and capacity of the material. Trecker defines methods and skill as methods means the purposeful use of insights and understanding based upon a body of knowledge and principles. Skill is the capacity to apply knowledge and understanding to a given situation. Jenkins has listed certain skills that are essential for a social group worker to become more productive in group situation. 1. Exchanging ideas among the members freely and clearly, using language understood by everyone and with no fears of starting arguments or hurting feelings. 2. Examining objectively how well the group and its members are working. 3. Sharing the leadership jobs among the group members and show sensitivity to the feelings of all. 4. Accepting new ideas and new members into the group without irreparable conflict, and to disciplining the group to work toward long-range objectives and profit from failures. 5. Thinking clearly about group problems, findings, causes and working for solutions. 6. Adjusting group procedures and plans to meet the feelings and the desires of the members. 7. Creating new jobs or committees as needed and to terminate them or the group itself, when the need is fulfilled. Phillips has enumerated the following skills of social group work. I. Skill in using agency functions. The group worker must be skillful in carrying the functions of agency. He should always try to propagate what the agency in the community wants to do. He does the following activities for this. 1. The intake process. The worker who meets the applicants while carrying out the agency procedures for intake will discuss with him what her particularly wants from the agency as well as what is available those for her to consider both the privileges and responsibilities of agency membership. 2. Connecting the group with the agency. The worker relates the group more firmly to the agency by helping it to understand what the agency stands for and what kind of responsible behavior is expected of them as well as of other groups. 3. Serving the individual through the group work process. Since the function of the agency includes helping group units to develop in socially useful ways, as well as helping individuals, the social worker's attention must be on the development of the group as a whole and on each individual's use of the group. 4. Working with the individual outside the group of meetings. Although the worker offers his services within the group process, he also provides help to the individual if need be for the better use of group experience on the part of member. 5. The referral process. An important part of the group work agency service is to work with members and their parents in a process of considering the use of other community services for help with problems that cannot be dealt with in the group work agency. 2. Skill in communication of feelings. The social group worker should have the following skills. 1. The worker's feelings. High among the qualities essential to a social worker's skill is the capacity to feel with others. 2. The group members' feelings. The worker must be skillful in helping the group members to know, accept, express and be responsible for their feelings. 3. Group feelings. The interaction of each member with the others and the worker produces group feelings. The worker helps the group in understanding their feelings and its meanings. 3. Skills in using the reality of the present. Under this, the social worker does two things. 1. Utilizing the group's current interest for purposeful activity. 2. Helping the group to take responsible decision. IV. Skill in stimulating and using group relations. 1. The social group worker should enable each group member to find and take his part in relationship with other members. 2. He should be skillful in using programs to strengthen group relations. Trekker has listed the following basic skills of social group work. 1. Skill in establishing purposeful relationship. A. The group worker must be skillful in gaining the acceptance of the group and in relating himself to the group on a positive professional basis. B. The group worker must be skillful in helping individuals in the group to accept one another and to join with the group in common pursuits. 2. Skill in analyzing the group situation. A. The worker must be skillful in judging the developmental level of the group to determine what the level is, what the group needs and how quickly the group can be expected to move. This calls for skill in direct observation of groups on a basis of analysis and judgment. B. The group worker must be skillful in helping the group to express ideas, work out objectives, clarify immediate goals and see both its potentialities and limitations as a group. 3. Skill in participation with the group. A. The group worker must be skillful in determining, interpreting, assuming and modifying his own roles with the group. B. The group worker must be skillful in helping group members to participate, to locate leadership among themselves and to take responsibility for their own activities. 4. Skill in dealing with group feeling. A. The group worker must be skillful in controlling his own feelings about the group and must study each new situation with a high degree of objectivity. B. The group worker must be skillful in helping groups to release their own feelings, both positive and negative. He must be skillful in helping groups to analyze situations as part of the working through group or intergroup conflicts. 5. Skill in program development. A. The group worker must be skillful in guiding group thinking so that interests and needs will be revealed and understood. B. The group worker must be skillful in helping groups to develop programs which they want as a means through which their needs may be met. 6. Skill in using agency and community resources. A. The group worker must be skillful in locating and then acquainting the group with various helpful resources which can be utilized by the members for program purpose. B. The group worker must be skillful in helping certain individual members to make use of specialized services by means of referral that cannot be met within the group. 7. Skill in evaluation. A. The group worker must have skill in recording the development processes that are going on as he works with the group. B. The group worker must be skillful in using his records and in helping the group to review its experiences as a means of improvement. On the basis of above discussions and opinions of different social workers on the different types of skills essential for group work practitioners, we may list them as follows. I. Communication skills. Communication is at the heart of group work practice. The social group worker makes use of two broad categories of communication skills. I. Those which are intended to facilitate interpersonal helping. E. Those intended to facilitate to achieve the group work objectives. A number of specific skills may help the group worker to perform his jobs more effectively. 1. Skill of program planning. It is very essential that group worker must be skillful in planning the programs for the group. It is also essential that the worker must be skillful in communicating the message around the answers of several questions. She should be skillful in communicating his own feelings to the members of the group. 2. Skill of identify self-role. It is an important step in group work practice. The worker must convince the group for his interference in its affairs. 3. Skill of explaining the purpose of the group formation and communicate the group. Everybody before joining the group wants to know about the benefits of joining the group. If she is satisfied, he comes forward and become a member of that group. Therefore, the group worker must be skillful in convincing the people to avail the facilities of the agency by joining the group. The worker, further, explains how communicate in group so that the group may advance in its goal. 4. Skill in interpreting verbal communication. It is the job of the group worker to keep watch on the verbal communication among the group members, because if it is not on the right track, the group may lose its basic purpose. She should always try to direct in proper direction. 5. Skill of answering question. During group process, certain questions, queries or doubts are raised by the group members. If they are not answered in right perspective, the members may disassociate themselves. Therefore, it is essential that the social group worker has the wide knowledge of social work as well as human behavior. 2. Skill in effective helping relationship. It is heart of social group work practice. A group worker must genuinely care for the group members. The relationship will be more cohesive and fruitful if the social group worker possesses the following skills. 1. Skill of empathy. It refers to the worker's capacity to perceive accurately members' feelings and subjective experiences. The group worker should show in her behavior that she is taking genuine interest in their welfare. It will help in developing confidence between group worker and the group. 2. Skill of encouraging the members' feedback. It refers to statement that encourages the member to respond to the worker's explanation. This gives the members an opportunity to ask questions and raise disagreement if any. 3. Skill of describing the member's role. This is common tendency that everybody wants facilities and rights but less inclined to fulfill their duties. It is the job of the social group worker to explain the member who is joining the group about his role in the group. When she is clear about her role, she works happily. 4. Skill of active listening. In active listening, the worker tends to both the member verbal and non-verbal message. The listening become active listening when it is followed by clarification and explanations needed by the group members. 5. Skill of exploring the members' silence. Sometimes it happens that one or the other members of the group keep silence and takes the least interest in the group activities. It is the job of social group worker to find out the reasons for her silence and encourage her for active involvement. 6. Skill of recognizing every member's strengths. It refers to expressions of confidence in the member's ability to accomplish some specific tasks in the group process. It will help the group worker in performing different types of activities in the group with the help of its members, and thus the group will grow and enrich in achieving its objectives. 7. Skill in partialization and gradation of the problem. All the problems of the group and its members cannot be solved at once. Therefore, their gradation and partialization is needed. Priority should be fixed by the group worker. It will facilitate the group process in right direction. Assumptions underlying social group work. It is accepted that the group attempts to achieve its goals through the interaction of its members. So the basic assumption is that the group organized for a given purpose attempts to achieve this purpose by employing their members to the best possible use. There are many factors that can influence the interaction of the members of a group. These factors may be liking of members of each other, availability of direction, resources available, etc. A group in which members dislike one another tend to perform less effectively their roles than a group whose members are on friendly terms. Douglas has drawn up a list of the basic assumptions upon which group work practice is based. These assumptions are: 1. That group experience is universal and an essential part of human existence. 2. That group can be used to affect changes in the attitudes and behavior of individuals. 3. That group provides experiences which can be monitored or selected in some way for beneficial ends. Life outside the group is in no way neglected. It tends to be put out of focus. 4. That group offers experience shared with others so that all can come to have something common with the sense of belonging and of growing together. 5. That groups produce change which is more permanent than can be achieved by other methods. And the change is obtained more quickly also. 6. That groups assist in the removal or diminution of difficulties created by previous exposure to the process of learning. 7. That groups as instruments of helping others may be economical in the use of scarce resources, e.g. skilled workers, time etc. 8. That a group can examine its own behavior and in so doing learn about the general patterns of group behavior. In general, social group work is based on the following basic assumptions. 1. Man is a group animal. 2. Social interaction is the result of group life. 3. Man's achievements can be increased, changed and developed through group experiences. 4. The capacity to solve problems may be increased through group experiences. 5. Group experience changes the level of individual aspirations and desires. 6. Group recreational activities are beneficial to both individual and society. 7. Group experience has permanent impact on individuals. 8. Group work always focus its attention on two types of activities, program and social relationship in the group. 9. Professional knowledge and skills are essential for working with the group. 10. Knowledge of social science is required to deal with the group. Models of social group work. On the basis of varied assumptions about the role of the worker, the group members and the content of the group, social workers proposed 4 distinct group work models. These are 1. Remedial, 2. Mediating, 3. Developmental and 4. Social goal model. Remedial model. Remedial model focuses on the individual's dysfunction and utilizes the group as a context and means for altering deviant behavior. This approach to group work practice emphasizes its utility in removing the adverse conditions of individuals whose behavior is disapproved by the society. Clients of such social group work practice are physically and mentally handicapped, legal offenders, emotionally disturbed, isolated and alienated persons. The Michigan School contributed to this model. Credit goes to Winter and his colleagues for developing remedial model. In this model, attempts are being made by social worker to bring change in the individual. He, she is the target point. According to the remedial model, the group can be used to treat problems of adjustments in personal and social relations. According to Winter, attention to such problems reaffirms the profession's historic mission of service to those most in need. The remedial model is considered more as a clinical model that seeks to help the socially maladapted to improve social functioning. Through guided group experience, the social worker plays a key role as he, she gives expertise knowledge through the following activities. 1. The social worker is the central person, the worker is the object of identification and drives. 2. He, she is a symbol and a spokesman. He, she tries to maintain norms and values of the society. 3. He, she is a motivator and stimulator. He, she helps the individual and group to understand their goal as a group member. 4. He, she is an executive. He, she facilitates the activities of the group in order to gain the said objectives. In this model, whatever the changes are brought, they are explicitly limited to organizational and institutional elements that are responsible for individuals' dysfunction. Though this model focuses mainly on the individual client who is experiencing difficulty, the model is helpful for those likely to be affected. It means this model focuses on preventive aspects also. Reciprocal model or mediating model. Schwartz has introduced this model in 1961. This model is based on open systems theory, humanistic psychology, and an existential perspective. The following are the chief characteristics of this model. 1. People in society are interdependent because they have mutual needs. When there is interference with these mutual strivings, it results into conflict. 2. The resolution of this conflict is possible only when interested parties try to understand their dilemmas with all of these inner resources and they utilize that at that moment. 3. In this model, attention is directed towards the relationship of members in the group with each other, with the worker and the group as a whole. 4. It is the relationship among the members that shows the characteristics of the group. 5. In this model, emphasis is placed on the continuing and reciprocal transactions of sets of members with each other, the worker and the group. 6. It gives importance to the emergent goal and actions which are based on feelings of the group. It believes that intensive involvement by the parties in the current realities will generate their own purposes and goals. 7. Client and worker together as well as separately challenge the current problems with their total capacity. 8. Basic educative processes are utilized which incorporate particularizing, synthesizing and generalizing the feeling and action components of the problem. 9. In this model, distinctions are not made with respect to types and various of groups, since it is presumed that this model is widely applicable. In this model, the individual and the group are significant components. The worker's role appears to be facilitative, relying on the power and potency of mutual aid system to take care of itself. Developmental model. This model has been developed by the faculty members of Boston University under the leadership of Berstein in 1965. Lowy is the main architect of the developmental model. In this approach, groups are seen as having a degree of independence and autonomy, but the to and fro flow between them and their members, between them and their social settings, is crucial to their existence, viability and achievements. The chief characteristics of this model are: 1. It is primarily based on the dynamics of intimacy and closeness between the members over a span of time. 2. The degree of intimacy is taken into account for appropriate worker interventions. 3. Conceptualization of study, diagnosis and treatment is made at all three levels of individuals, group and the setting. 4. This model derives knowledge from Erikson's ego psychology, group dynamics and conflict theory. 5. The group worker is engaged in study, diagnosis and treatment. 6. The worker is connected with community, agency, group and individual member. 7. The group is envisioned as a microcosm of society. 8. Thoughts, feelings, sentiments and behavior are continuously assessed and attempts are made to improve them. 9. The social group worker tries to improve the situations among individual member, group agency, and the social environment. 10. In short, it can be said that the developmental model is a compromise between the reciprocal, remedial, and traditional approaches. The social goals model. The basic concepts of this model are social consciousness, social responsibility, and social change. It is suggested that by participation with others in a group situation, individuals can affect social change. Social action is the desired outcome, and the group worker is regarded as an influence person and enabler who personifies the values of social responsibility and acts as stimulator and role model without purveying any political viewpoint. Implicit in this model is the emerging leader within the group. The model is concerned with democracy and the enhancement of personal functioning within the social context, heightened self-esteem and an increase in social power for the members of the group collectively and as individuals. The skill of the leader lies mainly in programming. Wines 1964, Konopka 1958. There are other three interventions which are considered as suitable models for effective practice in social group work. 1. Gestalt therapy. 2. Transactional analysis. 3. The behavioral model. Gestalt therapy. In Gestalt therapy, the worker aids the clients in learning how they prevent themselves from maturing. It is the aim of worker to help the client to become aware of and accept responsibility for how they make themselves feel better. Transactional analysis. It is a process of analyzing and explaining intrapersonal and interpersonal processes. This therapeutic model was developed by Byrne. He proposes that personal change can be maximized through group psychotherapy, where the social processes are much more varied than just one-to-one relationships. According to Byrne, individuals are products of social processes and they use social processes. Within the group settings, individuals can be made aware about their self-defeating behavior. Once they are aware of their behavior, they can do something for changing it. The group provides a safe environment for practicing new behaviors. According to Byrne, there are four major features of transactional analysis. 1. Structural analysis. It is a method of analyzing thoughts and feelings and behavior based on the phenomena of ego states. 2. Transactional analysis. It involves the interactional processes that occur between the ego states of one person and the ego states of another. 3. Game analysis. This involves examining repetitive patterns of interpersonal behavior of individuals that are problematic. 4. Script analysis. It is related to the early decisions and the positions taken by a person in childhood. The role of the group worker is of a teacher and a leader who explains the key concepts and helps the members to discover the disadvantageous conditions under which they made their earlier decisions, adopted life plans and developed strategies for relating to people. Behavioral model. According to this model, specific group programs are implemented to alter dysfunctional patterns and learn new styles. The expertise of behavioral group therapist is essential in assessing and devising a treatment plan for each individual member within the context of the group. The group worker calculates the specific elements of the disturbing behavior to be decreased or desired behavior to be developed. Other group members provide assistance and feedback concerning progress throughout the stages of the treatment process. Conclusion. Social group work is a primary method of social work, which believes that the development of individual is mainly dependent on the group experiences. There are number of socio-psychological problems which cannot be solved without the help of the group. The development of personality is also dependent on the use of group life to some extent. The group worker should follow certain principles in her practice. These main principles are planned group formation, specific objectives, purposeful relationship, continuous individualization, guided group interaction, democratic group self-determination, progressive program, experience, resource utilization and continuous evaluation. The social group worker also have certain skills that will make him effective in dealing with the group problems. These are establishing purposeful relationship, analyzing group situation, participating in the time of need in the group process, dealing with group feelings, progressive program development, using agency resources, etc. The social group worker practices either remedial model or reciprocal or developmental model with the group. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video with the next chapter.